Luca. It's John Florescu. I'm here in Bucharest, and it's October 27th. And today, this month, we have a special show, which is about superstar athletes, our athletes, Romanian athletes. And it's fantastic to have three people from three different specialties. Mihai Covaliu, who is not only an Olympian, a gold medal winner in Sydney and in Beijing, but also is president of the Olympic Committee. So it's a great honor to have you here. And thank you, Mihai, for pulling the whole thing together. So it was through Mihai's intercession that we got together.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much for introduction, John. Thank you very much. It's a pleasure to be here with you.
Thank you. Thank you. And Simona Radis, who I first met when I flicked on the television set at the Tokyo Olympics. And I saw her, as I was saying earlier, not beating, but overwhelming the competition, the number 2, which is fantastic to see. And she is with Nicoleta Ancuța-Bodnar, who was your partner, I guess, your rowing mate.
Yes, thank you for the invitation. That was really a crazy race for us.
Well, we're going to ask you a few questions. You've been very apologetic about your English, but I think your English is fantastic. And Robert Glință, I just found out, was also at USC. So those people on the West Coast of the United States know that he has a swimmer there in 2017, but since has 90 records. And he was a finalist at the Rio Games in 2016. And I think he has, as a junior world record holder for the 100-meter backstroke, if I got that correct. And I have to apologize to all of you, because I'm sure you've done a lot more than just that, but those are the highlights that come up from our researcher. Anyways, welcome. We have all of us here in Romania. I guess we'll have it's open conversation, but I'll be directing questions. But I'll start with the older generation like me, with Mihai. Tell me, do you remember how it felt to win the gold once or twice? Either way.
First of all, thank you for this invitation. It's a great opportunity to be here and to be in the contact with all the Romanians from the US and from all over the world. And John, I have to tell you that I feel still young, and I'm not. I'm still an active person. Like, I'm convinced that you are. And to coming back to your question, the feeling when you won a gold medal in the Olympic Games, it's a unique feeling, unique emotion, and this emotion was very in the very big past years, and I'm absolutely convinced that Simona can tell us his emotion, because his emotions are very fresh after Tokyo Olympic Games. And if I'm remember, in my times in Sydney was something like I was not for the favorites. I was on the 10th place at that time. Amazing. But when I left to the Olympic Games, I said everybody from the first 10 from the World Cup could win the gold medal. So I was on the 10th place, and I was right. I won the gold medal, and the feeling and the emotions was fantastic for me and for all my family, all my friends, and still in our days, everybody are happy, and I'm proud because I won, the best results in the activity of a sportsman.
Excellent. Well, you cued in Simona there a moment ago. So Simona, I suppose you've been asked that question a million times in every language, I suppose, but if you wouldn't mind just recapturing it for us now.
When you see that medal, that gold medal, you don't have words, and you don't need words, because behind of that medal is a lot of work. There was difficult times, and actually we were the favorites at this Olympics, but you can know the result. You just go there, compete, and you hope to take a good place, the first one, if you know if you are ready. But there can be unexpected problems, and the thing that we make it good was that we remain calm, and we set up to give our best, to let the others team behind us and to win the gold. But the first feeling was proud, because behind ourselves was Romania, not only Simona and Ancuța.
Right, right. Now, I know, Robert, you don't have the Olympic medal yet, but you have so many records and so many medals. I'm going to ask you to think of one that really stood out. The one that was it the first Olympic thing, or first European championships, or was it a high school thing, or what was it that sits out?
Well, you said I don't have an Olympic medal yet, but it's good that you pointed that out. It's still something that I still strive for, and I train every day with my mind set up on an Olympic medal, Olympic gold, and I feel like when you aim at the highest possible result, you will at least end up with something in that margin. And I like to shoot, they say you shoot for the moon, even if you miss, you land among the stars. It might not be accurately, it might not be accurate physically, but it's true in what we're talking about here. But one result that's really sticked with me, I think it was the European gold medal that I won this year. I actually won 2 medals this year: European gold in 100 meters backstroke and silver medal in 50 meters backstroke. And it's quite difficult. Of course, the Americans are really, really good. You guys have Ryan Murphy, who's the Olympic gold medalist in Rio in 100 and 200, and he's the world record holder. And he's quite tough to beat. But in Europe here we have the Russians, and they always put up a tough competition. But luckily, I don't know, it was quite a fortunate sum of events that I gained the advantage in 100 meters backstroke, and the goal at Europeans really felt like a lot, because it was the first gold as a senior meet, and more than anything, I think that gold means more in terms of powering myself up into the future competitions, and I just want to feel and to believe that this is just the start of something much greater in terms of my performances at the senior level.
Excellent. Well, I think, mind you, winning the gold in Europe is no small matter. And I think I just know from watching other Romanian athletes who are thrilled when they win the Balkan championships. And I had the pleasure of talking to some other athletes, Nadia Comaneci years ago in Los Angeles. We actually flew to Montreal, and we went into the stadium where she won her Olympic golds, and we were sitting up in the stadium with her then coach, and she was sort of contemplating, the moment as well. And it was as vivid in her mind from going back to her wins as you are all mentioning it today. I guess when you're an athlete, and people talk about, or I talked about the goal, but the hard part is getting there, and the work it takes to get there. And you know how it is. Any athlete, I'm a college athlete, to get to that competitive level, you got to give so much of yourself. When you compete, and I throw this out to any of you, do you train with the idea that I'm doing this for myself, I'm doing this for my mother, I'm doing this for my coach, I'm doing this for my country? What are the things that enter into your mind? And I'll go back to you, Robert. When you compete, or when you train, I'm talking about the training, all the stuff that goes into it. What do you remind yourself about?
Basically, I try to let go of all the things that would not benefit me in practice. And for the most part, I think I just do it for myself, and for all the dozens of years of hard work and all the effort and maybe tears that have been put into such training to achieve this high level of competition or high level of sport. And of course, for all the people that were so close to me, my family just meant so much in the long run, because when everything felt like falling apart, they were always there to support me. And in Romania, we are very proud to still have this, few handful of people that really care and are very supportive to for us to achieve what we dream about, the high level of competition. But we cannot compare with the United States system, or some other top tier countries that are gathering results, or on a like a daily basis, to say that. But when everything feels like it's not enough, my family was always there, and it just meant so much to me. And when I get to swim at very high levels, I feel like I'm just swimming for something greater than myself. And I'm putting all the people that really cared for me and my performances. I let aside my ego, and I also think of my country, because as I said, this phrase really stuck with me for the most part, especially in the past few years, that I just feel like I swim for something greater than myself, and I just have no like hesitation to just let 100% in the pool every time.
Fantastic. Mihai, you take it from your perspective as I guess as an athlete, but also as the head of the Olympic Committee.
So it's a common effort. I say it's a teamwork. It's everybody had his his plus and his advantage in this story. And like Robert mentioned, it's you have in your back family, friends, your team, your colleagues, your coach, your federation, and last but not least, you have in your back all your country. And this is like you are fighting in a team, not alone. So this is very important to be connected with all these energies, because if you are conscious about these energies, you are like you have a add of other forces with you, and you can achieve let's say resources that in a normal condition you can imagine that you can have this power to fight in such an let's say difficult moments of your fight in the competition. So it's a common effort, but you are with yourself in this fight in that moment, but in the same time you are not only you, and you are with all your team in that moment.
Simona, you were saying earlier that you had a very fresh feeling in Tokyo, and I think I saw you when the Romanian flag was going up, and you sort of sensed they played the Romanian anthem on the Romanian TVR. You couldn't hear it that well because the wind was blowing and something, and you didn't have to say so much. You have to do too much, but obviously there's enormous pride. But is it, in addition to national pride, was anything like your mother, your sister? Of course, you have your pair. You're part of a team, so it's a little different in that sense. But how was the feeling, and what gets you through all that training and preparation?
Like you said, I'm not alone. I have a teammate. But there are days when I'm not okay. I'm not feeling good. So Ancuța needs to be more attention, to give more attention in the boat. And there are days when Ancuța is not feeling okay, and I need to help her. But there are days when both of us are not feeling good, so the boat is not working. But there is our dream to become the best we can. We set up a dream, and try to reach every time in every training, and try to get that dream in your hands. But there was 2 years difficult because you know already the conditions, and our psychic was powerful, but there was days when we were thinking like, why are we training? Because we don't know if we are compete next year, and we didn't know if the Olympics will take place in Japan. So, but we didn't give up.
Sorry, go on.
We didn't give up, and we just tried to. Ancuța was trying to tell me that, you know, maybe there will be an Olympic game next year, maybe now, but we need to train and we need to become better. Doesn't matter what competition will take place in the future, because we are very young, and we need to improve ourselves. And the thing that helped us a lot was the family, because they are always with us, even they are miles away. They are with us and try to give us power. Another thing that helped us was the people from Romania. When we were there, they just write us a lot of messages and tell us that we are very powerful, and we are going to win the gold medal. And that wasn't good for us, because you know, when somebody tells you that, you start to be afraid not to disappoint them. Yeah. And when there isn't just a person who tells you that, and there are thousands, you are like, oh my God, what if I will disappoint everybody? And that's a bad mind, but we try to take the good part. You know, these guys really trust us, and we need to give our best. So let's just go there and beat this girl.
And Simona, was it more difficult because there wasn't a large audience? I know in rowing that there's a lot of noise with the boat and the oars going in, and you're blocking out the people who are on the side. But was it different because there were fewer spectators? I imagine for runners in a stadium, when there's an empty stadium, it becomes a different sort of thing, even maybe for tennis players today. But was it different from you as a pair in a boat?
It was a little different, but not so much, because for example, when I'm in the boat, I don't hear anything, just me and my mind. Yeah. And the people around me doesn't matter so much. Right. It's just a noise, and right. I do my job with that noise, but doesn't affect me. I told you that I hear just my mind. I try to give myself good advices, what to do in that race. I try to tell some things to Ancuța, not many words, but some who would help the team go on faster. And I remember that on the final, on this Olympics, at the middle of the race, I just had a mind. It sounds like I can't do it anymore. Oh my God, there's one more mile until the finish line. What I will do the next mile, because I can't do it. And also me, the answer of that mind was like, what are you talking about? Just go there and make your job, because you can, and you are trained for this. It's hard. And in our minds, we think a lot, and not all the minds are good. We have bad thoughts, and we need to carry on them. But this makes us to become better and better, because if everything will be all right, I just don't know how to say, but if everything is perfect,
Yeah.
We just will stay on the same line.
Right.
And we need to become better.
Improve.
Right. I see.
Yes.
Robert, you were saying a moment ago, you're talking about the US system, and I guess by consequence, the European system or the Romanian system, and you talk about science, you mentioned science there, and maybe it's nutrition, and maybe, in what ways do you think the Romanian system would benefit from the American system, which is basically, as you know, through colleges, because there's not really a sports system, it's just through colleges. Would the Europeans be better off with a different kind of system, or adapting some of the things you notice in the States?
Wow, this is quite a powerful question, and I think it involves a lot of variables. But what comes to mind, like the biggest probably difference that I see between Romania basically and the US system is that we don't have a centralized thing where, you know, high performance athletes gather to get the most of the resources that Romania has put at their disposal, like US system has. Most of the time we get some financial assistance to gather the people that we think we need in order to achieve what we want. But even in terms of professionals, we don't have like a proper educational system to get people to know how high elite level athletes works, and how high performance basically is achieved, because we have, you know, so little, or maybe these kind of performances happen so rarely that we don't even know how these people get there and what to make of their performance in order to try to achieve in the future the same type of performance. Right. But there are many things that if, you know, they're added and they're put together, maybe we will see some improvement in our performances. But maybe another aspect is that the mindset of or what being a professional athlete means in the society, because it's not basically accepted, or basically in some places is even frowned upon, because we don't have special treatment for athletes, because we have a special way of living, right? Even starting at a very young age, we are involved in the very serious training, and a lot of our energy and time goes into training. And so of course school is also a top priority of even at a young age, and the professors, even the family, the parents of the athlete don't really understand, and they are more inclined to lead their kids into pursuing school rather than athletics, because it's not, you know, very stable in terms of their future, because we don't have like a proper recognition at the high level in Romania, so that young kids, and not only young kids, but, you know, their parents can see the models, and that can see the availability of this career to be pursued by their kids. So there are many things, but always what I say is that I always try to do my best with what I have around me, and so my focus is what I can use in my advantage, and let go of all the things that might be interpreted as barriers or something like that.
Right. Well, I know that in the States, you know, if you're a superstar athlete in high school, everybody loves you. You're more interesting than the smartest guy in the class. And if you're a star athlete in college, they even love you more. And even if you take today, that star basketball player in the United States is a Romanian lady by the name of Sabrina Ionescu, I asked my son, does anybody, you guys know, he's at USC, you know about Sabrina Ionescu? He said, do I know about you, Sabrina? Everybody knows Sabrina Ionescu. So athletes are loved in America. Mihai, I'm not trying to put this on your shoulder, but you now run it as an administrator. To what extent do you think these difficulties are one of finances? Because you're always fighting for money from the national government, and God knows it seems a bit chaotic from time to time, so it's a very tough job. versus, for instance, sourcing athletes around the country, and trying to find the young ones and moving up into the system with all the obstacles that Robert was saying, where they don't put enough value on it. How do you see it from your perspective?
So we think we should start discussion from these two systems. So the West system and the East system of financing of sport, because the West system, it's totally financing from the private money. Yeah, it's private clubs, private or companies or a stakeholder or something to put his own money on the table for the sport. On the other side, in the East system of financing of sport, that every or most of the activity are financing from the state, from the government. So in our case, in the Romanian Olympic and Sport Committee, we have like 80% from the monies are coming from the state, from the government, and in the rest we have a different contract with our partners, with our stakeholders, and with this money we try to support the elite athletes, because we had the program for the elite athletes. For Tokyo, for instance, this program is named Samurai 2020, because it had a big connection with the Japanese culture. And, also we have under the performance, we invest in youth under 23, and more in the backward, we invest in the juniors. So actually we are starting to invest money, because we are not spending money, we invest money in the children, starting with 14 years of age, when the top athletes come in the Olympic Romanian Olympic and Sport Committee program. It's a kind of Olympic center, and it's based in the different part of the country, in the different discipline of the sport. And then if you are starting on this way, you get the support from the Olympic Committee. You benefit from equipment. You have a coach. You have place where you live, and you have scholarship. This is very, very important. Compare with the West system, where the family and maybe your sponsor invest the money to your develop to growth as a performance. And this is here in Romania and here in the east part of the Europe, it's a kind of mix between state money and the private money. So it's very difficult to change all the system, because you have to change first of all the mentality, and then you have to have a very big facility from the state, economical facility to be attractive for the companies or for the stakeholders to come to invest money in the sport. So we have just let's say some cases or some examples that sportsmen that they put money, his family or one sponsor, and he developed to the top of the performance. But this you can you can have it on only one hand, and the few examples are in tennis, which Simona Halep, it's one of these best example, and the other guys from tennis, which are benefit from the private money. And in the rest, they are they are growing in in the state system. They are growing in a national Olympic center or in national center of the national sports federations. So,
Mihai, do you think sometimes the system works against itself? Because in Romania, where you get money from the private sector and then you get money from the state sector, each one thinks, oh, let the other pay. I mean, I remember in communism, in communist Romania, where Romania was, I think, sometimes number 7 in the world in Olympic medals, in total medals, but the state paid full boat. And so in some ways, it seems like you're better off one way or the other, because the state always says, guess what? We have no money, right? We have no money. Let the private people pay.
yeah, because for achieve big performance, the money, it's the money should be bigger and bigger and bigger. You need more research, because the science is going ahead, and you have to change your coach. You have to have a team work to pay your guys to support you, and it's quite let's say unclear, this system, but this is the system here in this part of the world, and I know that also in Asia it's the same with the financing. Sport is financing from the state.
Right. Robert, you were saying a moment ago that mentioning science and some of the advantages, maybe psychological stuff. I want to ask the question to Simona. Simona, is there stuff that you've learned about other rowing teams around the world that somehow you felt they had, I don't know, better coaching, better education, better psychology, or in the boat with 2 people when you're practicing in Snagov, wherever you practice, you pretty much got anything the world offers in terms of that kind of help?
I have the best coach already.
Well, he's obviously done pretty well, huh?
And a great team behind me. I really appreciate that. Maybe we are not equal with America or other big countries, but we try to use what we have. Because if I think just wow, that one country, look at them, what many they have, then that mind doesn't help me. So I look at myself, and I think, wow, look at look how many things I have, and I try to use them. Maybe we can improve, and we can make something to become better, and to be like others. But we are in Romania, not in America, and some things are possible, some things are impossible. But I think I have what I need to become an Olympic champion. For the moment. Maybe next year I will need more things, but for the moment that was enough for me. I repeat, I can't speak for all the athletes because there are different conditions, but there is a great woman in rowing, Elisabeta Lipă. She makes everything that everything to know that we have what we need to perform, and she's always there, and Mihai Covaliu knows how powerful she is, and if she wants something, Mr. Covaliu needs to give her.
In terms of this is not a question about the infrastructure behind an athlete, but more of a human question. In your respective disciplines, in swimming and rowing and in fencing, what is the maximum age of performance? Mihai, begin with you. A fencer usually hits his peak by what age?
So in general, the answer is as long as you are in a good health. So as long you are in a good physical terms, in a good condition, you can perform. But in the most of the discipline in sport, to have a good physical condition to perform, it's around 30, 35.
Right.
Okay, with some exception. And here I can say that gymnastic is one of the sport which you have to, around 20 years of age to perform, or earlier. But to be like Olympic champions in 2 or 3 Olympic games, it's very difficult to get results in gymnastics. But in general, between 30 and 35 depends of of your body condition, of
Right.
your activity, of the sport, and so on.
I think we have a couple questions lined up, but before we go to them, Robert, how about in swimming? Usually, when do people hang
Well,
up?
basically what Mihai said is like a general truth, but in swimming we have all sorts of, like, it has grown so much as a variety that I saw at the Olympics that 16, 17-year-old girls winning gold medal. I think Lydia Jacobi, I think from the United States, won in 100-meter breaststroke. And on the men's side, I have a Brazilian friend that this guy is just pushing the boundaries of what can be achieved in swimming. This guy is 41 years old, and
Amazing.
2 years ago he just broke the world record in 50 meters butterfly in short course. And just last month, because we happen to be teammates in the professional league that I swim in, and he came close to 1/10 of a second of that world record, and that's just very impressive. So it's just like Mihai said, as long as you are able to pursue this specific lifestyle, and because it's not easy to achieve this type of performance, you have to be specific with what you're doing, be smart in how you invest your time and energy, and of course take care of all the things that will make you pull out that amazing performance even at that old age.
Right. Simona, in your sport?
It's like the same.
Yeah.
You need to be healthy, to have a strong body. I know athletes who made rowing until 41 years, and that means everything is possible. And there is no a specific age.
Yeah, cut off.
You make the sport how much you can. Maybe there's a person who make more years, and there are person who can do it anymore. I don't know, 25.
Yeah, I mean, it's interesting in some sports, like you see in tennis, that's been dominated by older people. Now they're all on the edge of falling off on the men's side, and now it's making room for the younger people. But in men's tennis, I think even up to age late 30s, they're doing okay. I think we have got some questions. Raluca, do you have any questions?
Yes, we have some questions, and I'm just reminding our participants and viewers that if you have any questions, please put them in the chat. One of the questions that we got was about the Tokyo Olympics, because you, Robert, and Simona were the flag bearers for Romania, and our viewers were wondering what that experience was like, and specifically what surprised you about it. What was different from what you expected it to be?
Ladies first. Simona, you want to start?
Sure, go ahead,
No,
Robert.
just start you, and I
Okay.
will come after.
Okay, so from behind the scenes kind of words, it was hard. It was really, really hard because we were set up to start walking in the stadium at a specific time. But up until that moment, we had quite a long, it wasn't that long of a drive from the Olympic Village to the stadium. but then we had to wait and we had to walk around the stadium once. We had to stay on our 2 foot for so long. Our backs was just in so much pain. Our legs hurt. I remember having my first race, the 100-meter backstroke, 48 hours after the event, the flag bearing event, and I was concerned that I wasn't able to recover in time because it wasn't easy. Like that for sure, it wasn't easy. It was very hot in that basement where we had to walk before going to the stadium. And as the moment itself, it was so short, incredibly short. Like it took maybe 30 seconds from when the cameras were turned on us until we had to give the flag to a volunteer there. But the experience itself is quite unique, and so we weren't prepared to after we stayed for so long, like 2 hours, to experience that 5 minutes of intense energy and emotions. We were trying to synchronize our movements because it was quite difficult to sustain that big flag. But it was really nice. Like I remember as it was yesterday, how beautiful it was. Even though the stadium wasn't full, there were still lights, and the show was impressive, and it made for quite an experience.
So Robert, remember what did you say? Because all these feelings that you feel and that you tell us now, it's like when you won a gold medal. So you have to suffer before, and only 5 minutes on the podium and all in the lights of the camera, and then everything it's gone. So remember for the Paris all this experience and to do everything to have it on the podium.
I know it all too well. Thank you.
That's amazing. So, Simona, how does the flag bearing compare to winning a gold medal? Let's see.
Robert already says everything that was happening there. There was a lot of emotions. Even then, the stadium wasn't full. But you know that there are people home who are watching you, and you want to be perfect. The moment needs to be perfect. And I was there. I just, it's like I am walking, I smile, and wait, what? That's all? What's happening? But I remember the moment, and makes me smile every time because it was unique. And the Japanese people made everything to make us feel comfortable and make us feel loved.
It's I guess you say, well, you look at a stadium that isn't full, but oh, by the way, the whole world is looking at you. Every TV station across the world is tuned into you. So you may see an empty stadium, but there are billions of people watching you.
We have another question.
Oh,
sorry. Actually, we have a couple of more questions. One is for all three of you, but specifically for Mr. Covaliu. What sparked your desire and motivation at the earliest ages to be in the sport that you are right now? And specifically for Mr. Covaliu, at what age should a child start and how to get them to be interested in a particular sport, or saber in particular, in this case?
Motivation in the beginning, it's to go in the community of a sport and to enjoy, because in the beginning you are not thinking to be the best from your team, because or to win a gold medal in the Olympic Games, but you go in a team that you can have fun, and you can learn something from that discipline, to develop some qualities, some reflexes, and to have a good time, because in the beginning it's about to have fun and to have good time. And then to start fencing, it's like, you know, when I was selected for fencing, I don't know I don't know what is fencing, because you know the coaches are coming in the school, and when they ask us who wants to come to try fencing, nobody say nothing, because nobody knows what means fencing. And then when they start to explain to us, you know, fencing, it's a fight with saber, it's about floret and epee and saber, and you will fight with these weapons, and you will be a chevalier, and you will be like you know, on the horses, or like three musketeers. So immediately you close your eyes, and your mind is like in a very good movies. And to start this sport, to start fencing, it's, you know, in my opinion, at you can start 5, 6 or 7 years, but also you can start later on at 12, 13, 14 years. And I have many examples of the children that start earlier or later on, both with a very good results later on.
Well, Luca, do you have any other questions there?
Thank you. Yes, there is a question from Alan Cruz, who is one of Alianza's board members, and who actually seems to have done a lot of research. And this question is for Robert in particular. Robert attended University of Southern California for a while before returning to Romania. How did his U.S. university experience compare with his time at Babeș-Bolyai University? And then the second part of this, and Robert, maybe you can tell us about this. You have also been featured as a fashion model in Get's men's magazine in Romania. How does such an opportunity come about? Do you have any advice to share?
Okay, interesting questions. Yeah, thank you for them. To start with the first one, the experiences cannot even be compared, because what the US comes with like a whole new level of experience. Like what happened in Romania at Babeș-Bolyai is I joined university to study psychology, but that happened while I was living in another city, Baia Mare, that was roughly around 150 kilometers far away from Cluj-Napoca, where the university is. And so there's like a specific program I attended to study from a distance. And so I attended university only twice a semester to attend seminars and lectures with the professors. And then for the rest of the time, I was basically doing my own work where I was living and training in Baia Mare. And so what happened in Cluj at University of Babeș-Bolyai, it was just purely from the studying perspective. But what happens at USC is you have everything there. You sleep there, you train there, you have a whole team next to you. You make a lot of friends there. You have the school that's also right next to you, and it's just you're fully immersed in that experience. That's why I say the experiences cannot even be compared between them. And to the second question, I don't know. I actually don't have any advice. These kind of opportunities just came to me, and I just learned how to not say no. And over the years, I felt like I learned a lot, met a lot of people, and through these kind of experiences, I grew up more as a person. I just became more complete, gathering so much experiences in so many fields that ultimately have helped me with my performance in swimming, because now I know how to interact with like coaches internationally, or with other high elite athletes that I come across on the pool deck. And basically, it's also a lot of fun that I just don't deny that I'm having. And in the future, I will for sure not deny any type of these experiences.
Everybody likes to model, right? And it makes you feel good. But
I guess yes. It is one way to look at it, but I learned to enjoy it after I've done it a couple of times. At first, I just took it as a responsibility, and it has helped me in the long run. And now I appreciate it, and I see the value beforehand.
right, I see. Mihai, I'm going to go back to you. Romania is a very much, I've been here a little while now, a very much football society. And it seems that the media doesn't give enough media attention to other sports. It tends to be, very centric on football centric. And is there any effort or attention put to trying to get some more coverage? Because from the United States, there's sports on TV all the time. There are all kinds of sports on ESPN that you can pretty much get what you want. How important is that, do you think, to accomplishing what you say and what certainly is a very complex way of elevating sports in Romania, or Olympic sports in Romania?
So this situation is coming because everybody it's a very good coach, or they know how to play football. So we have like 20 million of coaches and players and for football, but it's very difficult to practice or to understand the other sports, like like rowing or fencing or other sports that you have to have a culture. First of all, you have to have a culture of for a different type of sports. And the football, it's I say it's the common language for everybody. So everybody understands what is going on the football court, but not everybody understands what's happened in also in swimming, because it's not only about you have to jump in the swimming pool and you have to be the first who touch the table, and that's it. It's about breathing, it's about technique, it's about tactic, and this is all about for any other sports. But in general, football, it's always on the TV, and comparing with the other sports, which are get interest only when we have some big events like European Championship, like World Championship, or like Olympic Games. I never see, for instance, this competition where Robert, it's part of this let's say Grand Prix for swimming, because nobody are interested to see this kind of competition. And also it's the same for rowing, or is the same for fencing. It's much more easier to look to TV when it's a football game, and that's it. People, just a few part of the people are looking to the other events in sports. I think in the first place it's football, and then football, like you say, and then it's coming tennis, because we have Simona Halep and the other players. But for the other sports, it's not such a big interest, because it's I think it's about what I'm talking before. It's about the culture of sports, and if we have football, seems like it's enough for to see and to have a pizza or a popcorn to watching a football game, and that's it.
Listen, while you were talking there, a question popped up, and people outside Romania have said, if we wanted to help the Olympic Committee, how could we help? So I'm going to ask you here and now to say, either give your email address, because who knows, maybe there's some millionaire sitting out on the West Coast at USC or somewhere who's ready to help out. So how, if somebody wanted to help out, where would they go to? To you, right?
Yeah, of course. And
So how do they get hold of you if they're listening now?
So it's very important to have a strong partner, because I think all the results from the Olympic Games should have a big support. And Simona knows, and also Robert knows, that we invest a lot of money in all this in the last years to create the better condition for our sportsmen, to create better situations, to have a good let's say salary or a financial stability, to have a good preparation to achieve the medals in the Olympics. So to have all these facilities and all these conditions, we need money. And of course, we can discuss any kind of partnership with any kind of stakeholder in any activities, and then we have to build a strong partnership and to create some good events or some good rewards for our stakeholders.
Let me jump in. I could say, if anybody out there was actually seriously making a donation, please get in touch with Alianta on their Facebook page to communicate back, and they can make an offer. I wanted
or website. I just wanted to remind everybody, the website is www.alianza.org. And you can find information there about how to get in touch with us, events, future events, and past events. So
if you're interested in wiring a check to Mihai and his team, it's a good way to start. Mihai, let me ask you a question, which is a public bit of information. How much does the national government give the Olympic Committee each year, and how much do you think you really need to make your job, workable?
So we have like so we start from let's say like 6 million euro in 2016, and now we get for the preparation for the Olympic Games for Tokyo around 12 million of euro. So but it's not about only the senior programs. We have, like I said before, juniors and under 23, and this is a continued project to develop the good programs, to discover the future performance for the Olympic Games. So we should have sustainability, financial sustainability to implement all this project, and to put to support the national federations for the program of for performing, and not only for performance, but only for the develop of the programs, to know the people and to share with the people the benefit of the practicing of the sport, and then to benefit of the sport, benefit of the sport, because at the end we can say only the benefit of the sport.
Right. Well, on that note, we're just moving up on the hour. All I'd say is that whatever happens to you in later sporting events or later things in your life, you're among the very few people on planet Earth who walk around with the kind of distinctions you have. And I think that, that notion is a very powerful one. And so whatever happens in your way, I think it's such a triumph what you achieve for yourself and for your country. It's a beautiful feeling. I wish you well. If there are any donors and sponsors out there, and certainly there are now big Romanian companies functioning in the United States, billion-dollar companies, I'd be very eager to urge them to help out the Olympic Committee, because we all know everybody loves athletes, and particularly high-performance ones. Thank you all three for coming. It's great to see you, and good luck.
Thank you, John. Thank you, Raluca. And let's see in wherever we see, but in the very, very healthy conditions.
Okay. So long. Bye-bye.